Tells me that it's more probably about politics than the actual letter of the law. And I think that will help the situation if a mom has another alternative to raising it herself. To have a two-state solution, you have to have two sides that want that solution. You could start oil exploration to see what is there. That would be an issue that he would be addressing as president. Is there another shoe to drop, something we don't know about? And if not, then why is he gone?
The reaction has really not been partisan because, as we showed in the network story, you have people from Ted Cruz to Marco Rubio to Orrin Hatch. I know you have strong feelings about this, that there is a difference in your opinion between conservatives, conservative Republicans, and the alt-right.
Correct, and that's exactly why you've seen bipartisan condemnation, why you've seen plenty of Republicans condemning this openly and clearly, because the alt-right has nothing to do with American conservatism or the right wing in America. That's why they called themselves the alternative right, because they're not the actual right. And the truth of the matter is, the alt-right does not believe in the Declaration of Independence. They do not believe in the Constitution. They do not believe in individual liberties. They do not believe that all men are created equally under God. These are bedrock principles of American conservatism, and they oppose all of them. They believe that Western civilization was built by whites, and without whites running it, it's going to fall apart. Well, that is totally antithetical to what conservatives believe. And everybody I know that understands the alt-right, which frankly isn't that many Republicans, but everybody I know that understands them says these are bad people with odious and poisonous ideas, and they need to be called out.
But Susan, you still hear the argument of moral equivalency about whether there are groups on the right and the left who are basically, ginning up the violence.
Yeah, and there actually are. I mean, I've been in rallies myself where the groups that basically infiltrate your position to basically hook on to your rally and turn it into something else. We saw that during the Women's March. We saw that during the inauguration. All the violence that happened during the inauguration, the liberals got blamed for it, and it had nothing to do with our group. They tried to do it at the Women's March, and they were unsuccessful because of who was in attendance. But I do want to say, everything that Rod just said, I would have loved the president to have said the first time out.
Nobody is quicker in 140 characters than Donald J. Trump. And look, you had a CEO who quit one of his task forces today because of his lack of response, and within an hour he is going after that CEO. What Trevor just said there is something that a lot of people notice, that he does not attack this with the same kind of vigor.
But he did today. I mean, it was pretty, at noon, his noon speech today was pretty pointed. I think it covered all of the bullet points that everybody wanted.
But he had no choice.
Well, okay, you can say he had no choice. I think he's the president. I think Trump clearly has a lot of choices. He's constantly doing things that I wish he wouldn't do, and he does them anyway, even when he gets pushback. But I also want to mention on moral equivalency. There isn't a moral equivalency between the alt-right and the groups opposing them as far as what they stand for. There isn't any. The alt-right is just disgusting. Where there is equivalency is that they were both violent. And the leader of that Antifa, they are all over the country promoting violence. They were at the Women's March. They were in Seattle today against a prayer vigil. They were working it up. They were in Berkeley. They were in UC Davis. They are all over the country. They are a violent Marxist organization. I am not saying that they are equivalent to the alt-right, but I am saying they are a problem, and I would like to see the left call them out also.
Rod, I said at the outset the FBI is saying that far right-wing groups are responsible for more of these attacks over the last 16 years, and more are to come. What crosses your mind when you hear that?
That the divisions in our country are real and getting deeper. Unfortunately, they're going the opposite direction of where they were in '63 when Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, which I just adore that speech. It still gives me chills. We went in the right direction for a little while. I feel like we were, and now we've been going in the wrong direction for a while. I think identity politics is part of it. That's on the left, and now it's definitely on the right. But it's not, I shouldn't say that. It's on the left and it's in the alt-right. It's not so much in conservatism. But I think as much as we can look at ourselves at this table as 5 Americans and not as a black guy and a white guy and a reverend and a white woman and a journalist. If we can look at ourselves as Americans first, that goes a long ways.